Welcome back to my channel, The Ready Nurse Nay. I make videos for nursing students and also family and inspirational related videos. Today's video will be talking about how to successfully do your best on the TEAS test and make the highest score possible. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Before I go ahead and start on today's video, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. At the end of the video, leave me a comment below. Let me know if these tips are helpful to you, or if you have some other tips that may be more beneficial to some of the viewers and subscribers on this channel. So, TEAS test. What is the TEAS test? The TEAS test is a standardized test for nursing students, and they typically have to take it before they are admitted into their nursing program. So that's basically what the TEAS test is. A big tip that I would suggest would be to buy some type of study manual to guide your study. That is what I did, and I find that is very beneficial because it gives you a breakdown on what's on the test and kind of helps guide your study so you know what areas you need to prepare, you need to put more work and effort into. And there's also practice tests on there. Those are really beneficial because they kind of let you know your range, what you're falling in, and what you need to work on. So I would say get some type of study material. At the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you the study manual that I used for the TEAS test, and also kind of give you some different other brands that produce different products to help you with your TEAS test study. And you can also go to atitesting.com/TEAS test to get some generalized information on the TEAS as well. So the TEAS test is 3 hours and 29 minutes long, so it is a long test. It's composed of 170 questions, and it has 4 sections. The 4 sections are math, reading, English, language arts, and science. So it's 4 sections. I'm going to go through each section and tell you some different things of what you can expect on this test, what you need to know to be successful on this test. For the math section, it is 36 questions, 54 minutes long. Some different things that you can expect on the math section that you need to know how to do. You need to know how to do order of operations. A little mnemonic to remember your order of operations is PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S. The P is for parentheses, the E is for exponents, the M is for multiplication, the D division, the A addition, the S subtraction. PEMDAS. You need to know how to use order of operations and how to properly apply it to different math questions. You need to know the different types of numbers. What is a natural number, a whole number, an integer, a rational number, irrational number, real numbers. If you don't know the definitions of those, you need to look up the definition of those because those are some things that could be on the test. You need to know fractions and percentages and decimals. You need to know how to add, subtract, divide, multiply, fractions, percentages, decimals. You need to know how to read proportions and ratios and how to pull them from a word, from like word problems, and how to set them up. So like you'll get a word problem, and it is basically you have to set it up as a proportion or ratio to correctly answer the question. So you need to know how to do that. You need to know how to solve inequalities. Those are like the greater than sign, the less than sign, greater than equal to, less than equal to, inequalities. You need to know how to add and subtract negative numbers. You need to know metric measurements, such as how to convert kilograms to grams and vice versa. You need to know how to do area and perimeter of definitely the 4 basic shapes of area and perimeter for your square, your rectangle, your triangle, and your circle. You need to refreshen up on those things. And I would say definitely give yourself time to study for this test, at least 4 to 6 weeks. And if you do at least 4 to 6 weeks to prepare for this, then you can do 2 weeks for each section. What is that? Well, like a week and a half for each section if you give yourself about 6 weeks. So a week and a half, you can study each section and practice questions and stuff for each section so you be prepared for your test day. The reading section. Reading is 53 questions, 64 minutes. In the reading section, you're going to read short passages or reading excerpts, and you're going to answer questions about the passage. So you need to know how to pull the main idea from a reading passage. You need to know how to pull supporting details from the sentences. You need to be able to identify key terms that identify supporting details and the main idea. You need to know general vocabulary. You don't have to like study the thesaurus or anything like that, but general vocabulary, if you know what the prefix is, the root, and the suffix, you can kind of get an idea of how to properly answer different vocabulary questions. You also need to know how to read bar graphs and pie charts. For the science section is 53 questions and 63 minutes long. There is a lot of anatomy and physiology on the science section. So if you are a nursing student and you've already taken your anatomy and physio classes, then it's going to be really beneficial to you on this test. But if you haven't, these are some things that you need to prepare for. So you need to know general anatomical terminology. General anatomical terminology such as anterior is the front of the body and posterior is the back of the body. Lateral is the side of the body. Medial is the midline of the body. Distal is a little bit far away from the body. Proximal is closer to your body. You need to know those generalized terms. You need to know general anatomical general anatomical terminology. You also need to know basic cell structure. What is the differences between a plant cell and an animal cell? You need to know the blood flow through the heart. In my class, they showed us the box method for the heart, and that helps you to remember the blood flow. So you can Google box method for the heart, and that can be a way to help you remember the blood flow through the heart. You need to know major body systems. So the major body systems: respiratory system, muscular, skeletal, integumentary, digestive, genitourinary, reproductive, immune, nervous, endocrine. Those are major body systems you need to know and have general ideas of how they work for this test. You need to know a little bit of biology, the structure of an atom. You need to know how to read the periodic table. You need to know how to balance chemical equations. You need to know different states of matters. You need to know acids and bases with the pH scale. You need to know kind of the makeup of macromolecules such as your proteins, your carbs, your lipids, and your nucleic acids. You need to know a little bit about Mendel's law and how to read and create monohybrid and dihybrid cross tables. That's like when one parent has one trait, the other parent has this trait, and it's like what is the percentage that their kids are going to have this trait. You need to know about dominant alleles and recessive alleles. You need to refresh on that. Next section would be English language arts. It's 28 questions and 28 minutes long. For the English language arts section, you need to know basic writing elements and also kind of basic English language arts definitions and how they look in a sentence, how to properly apply them in a sentence. So nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, past, present, future tense of words, adjectives, conjunctions, and proper subject-verb agreement. You need to be able to identify fragments, sentence fragments, and things of that sort. How to apply correct punctuation with apostrophe, colon, comma, exclamation mark, parentheses, question mark, and quotation mark. And you also need to know when to apply correct capitalization. Other things you need to know for the English language arts, which I went over vocabulary, also spelling. So for spelling, I would recommend that you just Google commonly misspelled words, and then that can kind of give you an idea to make sure you don't miss any of those commonly misspelled words. And then you also need to know homophones and homographs type of words like that, so you don't mix those up. So I would say look those up. If you do all of that, you review, follow it, get you a study manual for the TEAS test, follow it. Study. If you put in the work and study, you will pass and you will do well and you will excel. And we are going to be these future nurses together. So make sure you study and you prepare so you can make the highest grade, the best score that you can on this test. For this test, like I said, I was saying at the beginning of the video, I'm going to show you what I used. And what I use is this test. I use this as my study guide. I don't know if you can see it, but it is the ATI's TEAS study guide by Trivium, and it was beneficial to me. It was helpful. because it gave me a guide of how to study for the test. They had a bunch of practice questions in there, and there also was a practice test at the end that I was able to use and gauge what I needed to practice more on and what I was very proficient in. So I would say get some type of study manual. There's a ton of different brands you can look up. I got mine from Amazon for about $23. You can get a study manual from $20 on up from Amazon, but it's definitely beneficial. I would not wing this test. I would get something to help you study for it, because you need to make the best score that you can to get in the nursing school that you want. So I wouldn't slack off on it or anything like that. Do what you gotta do so you can pass and get in the nursing school, pass your classes, and be these future nurses. And part of doing that is passing your TEAS test and getting the highest score that you need. So get a study manual. I use Trivium, but there's also some different name brands. There's Mom Metrics, there's Kaplan, there's I think like Smart Text or something like that. There's like a ton of different brands that you can look on Amazon and use to help you pass and do your best. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Please drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys use to prepare for the TEAS test and how you do on it. I wish you all well. Let's be these future nurses together. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for being a part of the Ready Nurse channel and part of my journey. I'm excited to bring you guys along with me. So let's do this. Good luck on your test, and let's be these future nurses together. Bye.